on March 26th. It is time for your Edmonton Real Estate Market Update. Now, I'm going to talk to you today. Normally is what I do is I go over what is currently for sale, what is happening with pending sales, and what is happening with the sold in the last 7 days. And then I'm also today going to talk to you about what is happening in each little community. So if there's communities you're interested in seeing, and if you're watching this live, please comment and I will look up different areas. I'm going to show you the difference right now. What I want to do is show you the difference in the price points. So depending on price points of sales, you'll see that they're either going up or down or just staying the same. If you have been tuning in every single week, you know that I started talking in January, February already about a very, very busy spring market. Now, I've been doing these updates for a while, and I actually looked at last couple years ago during our pandemic, and the inventory level was higher. And at that time, I felt like it was too low. Sitting about 2,300 active listings. And at that time, that was considered low. It was scary, and it still is really low. But let's take a look at what's currently active right now. So if you take a look at right now, I thought 2,300 was low a few years ago. We're at 1,822 active listings. Now, we have been going up the last 2 weeks. The number has been slowly climbing, but it has been going down every single week since when we were looking earlier this year. And numbers just started to climb a little bit in the last 2 weeks. So instead of seeing the numbers go downwards, we are seeing upwards. Now, what does this mean? These are current active single family home listings. This doesn't mean that's all the new listings we've had. So for example, if it says right now, it says 1,822 listings. Last week it was 1,805. It does not mean we only had 17 new single family listings that came in the last week. It means that with the new listings that come up in the market and the sales, so people who write offers, either pending or unconditional, when you do the net numbers of that, it now becomes that 17 number. So when numbers were going down, it meant that we had more sales than we were having new listings come up. Now what we're seeing is still a fair amount of sales, but either the inventory has slowed down or the sales have slowed down or both, or maybe there's so many new listings and it finally can keep up with the demand. I kind of think it's the latter because it is spring now and more people are looking at selling in the springtime. So we're seeing more opportunities for clients to buy their home in spring. So I'm just going to take a look over here. If you guys have any questions or comments, then you can, if you go on live, I will be able to see your comments and we'll be able to answer anything there. So if you take a look at the pending sales now, we're looking at pending sales instead of the current active listings. You can see that our number the last 2 weeks has gone down a little bit. So the active listings have come down and the sales have come down. Not enough to say, oh, it's going to balance out. No. This is just balancing out because it was very, very high. Now, the market, this is in general, this is single family homes from $1 all the way up to over $1 million. I want to show you the different price points to show you the activity we're seeing week to week there. If you take a look at the different surrounding areas, you can see again, every week I tell you the same thing. Their numbers don't change a whole lot because of the fact that they don't have a whole lot of inventory to begin with to sell. So they're moving actively. Nothing is abnormal there. It is a very typical market. I would say both Sherwood Park and St. Albert have always been the stronger markets. And you can see Sherwood Park and St. Albert both went up in their sales in the last week. So did Spruce Grove and Beaumont. Edmonton was the only one that kind of came down. Now, don't forget, Edmonton is a much bigger span and a much bigger city with more properties than those than those surrounding areas. If you take a look at the sales in the last 7 days, these are sales that, we were looking at listings again. These are the sales that have gone unconditional in the last 7 days to show you, hey, there's 244 from last week that went sold. We had 11 go sold in St. Albert, 22 in Sherwood Park, and 20 in Spruce Grove. Again, these numbers are quite normal. Beaumont was a little bit lower. So you can see week to week, the numbers haven't changed a whole lot. And that doesn't surprise me. I would wonder if our solds are actually going to increase again. Now, we had a bit of if you're not here in Edmonton, we had a bit of a winter bout. Now, we've had a very mild winter, which is very abnormal here in Edmonton, but we did see some winter weather, and sometimes that kind of slows things down a bit. We are forecasting a warmer weather. I feel so weird talking about the weather as a realtor, but it does impact it because watch, it's supposed to warm up today, tomorrow, Thursday, and I bet you anything it's going to get busier, and it is a long weekend, so it can kind of go hit or miss. It is spring break for most kids this week too, so there are people out shopping because they maybe are traveling and checking out Edmonton. So I would suspect, my guess, no crystal ball, but my guess is perhaps next week we'll see a higher number of sales. In terms of new listings, current active listings, I think that they're going to stay the same. I was hoping it would go up. It needs to go up to about 2,000 just to even somewhat normalize. But like I said earlier, it was at 2,300 at this time 3 years ago. And that was when things were really, really busy. So you can imagine if it was really, really busy 3 years ago at 2,300 listings and we have 1,800 listings now, you can see. Now, the interest rates were substantially lower 3 years ago, but the demand hasn't changed. So I know it seems weird because you'd think, why wouldn't the demand change? You'd think it would actually be lower, but it is actually not lower. So I'm going to take a look at what is going on in the areas. So I'm just going to switch the screen here. We are going to take a look at the different areas. So I've pulled up Windermere from 500. Wait, I need to change the price. Yeah, from 500 to 600,000. Just in case you're curious about what's happening in this price point. This price point typically is quieter than under 500. I'm going to show you. So if we organize this by status, you have 18 options in the Windermere area. And you have 3 listings pending at basically 600, and then this one's 529, 4 days on market. And this one is a bungalow. So that's pending. And then you can see 5 properties that are, 22 to 27. Yeah, 5 properties that have sold in the last week. Okay, so I think that's 7 days I did. Yeah, 7 days. So that's quite a fair amount of sales there. If we take a look at the same area, but we go into the lower price point. So we have about the same amount of listings, 26 versus 27. You're going to see here, though, we have 19 properties. Now, this is not including single family. We just want single family. Okay, so 22 properties in the 4 to 500 in Windermere. And 15 of the 22 are active, and there's no pending right now. 16 to 22. So 6 properties sold in the last 7 days. So that's showing me it's been pretty consistent across the board for Windermere. Now, Windermere typically has a higher price point. If we take down to 300 to 400 for single family, there's probably not a whole lot of options here. Yeah, there's only 6 because most of the sales actually happen even higher. So here you'll see 3 options under 400,000, 2 pending and 1 sold. Now I want to show you what happened. We did 5 to 6. If we do 600, yes, I know, to 700. So you'll see there's 36 total versus the 26 and 22. And then if I do 700 to 800, there's 30. So we have a fair amount of properties that are in this range. So if we go 600 to 700,000, you will see we have 36 properties in this count. And we have 31 active listings out of the 36. So over 600,000 in Windermere is moving slower because there's more options to look at. There's 31 compared to the other ones that were at 17 and 18. You have 3 sales that are pending, and one's a bungalow. The other 2 are 2 stories in the 2,100 square feet. And this is the newer neighborhood, Keswick. You got one in Ambleside that went pending as well. Let's see, these 2010, 2020. So the one's newer, unfinished basement, but probably newer finishings inside. So if you're curious what it looks like. So it's been updated because that's not original. So we've got the barn board and the newer light fixtures. Our secret listing had light fixtures like this. So you can see the kitchen's older, but they've done some finishing work that's neutralized things with the paint, and also the fact that the light fixtures and I know the furniture doesn't come with the house, but it does make the home feel newer. So like you hardly notice this light, but I notice the light. When you look at the finishings, it looks more of a modern finish. I see you, Louie. I will answer your question in a minute here. This is a very pace setter thing from back of the day. So this is a pace setter house. They used to have these columns in on the side as well too, and the curved arches. So this, and then 2 properties sold in the 600. Now let's just look one more time in Windermere, 700 to 800. I picked a zone, and that's 56, where Windermere and area is, because zones in real estate, how it works is it's a neighborhood and surrounding neighborhoods, so that you can kind of compare similar type properties. There's 30 here, a little less, but there is more in this price range than there was in the 4 to 5. And if we take a look at active listings, there's 24 out of 30. So that's a lot of active listings that are more stagnant in the 6 to 800,000 basically, right? You have 1, 2, 3, 4 pending. So there's more action happening here in the last 7 days, and then 2 properties sold. So the highest price point we've seen sold so far in all the things I've looked at it right now is 720,000. So if you're looking in Windermere, you do need to be expecting to pay more money. You have more choices in the 6 to 7, 800 because it's not moving as quickly. But if you're going to go look in the 4 to 600, it's not as many options and you have to move quicker. Now I have a comment here. Just wondering if Devon is considered to be part of Greater Edmonton area, and yes, it is. I just don't happen to put it in every week because it is a smaller town. It's west of Edmonton, very close to where I am actually, maybe 10, 15 minutes. But the amenities aren't the same. So if I show you a map of where Devon is, the reason why most people don't move here is there's a lack of amenities and it's a bit more driving. If you're coming in from out of province, then it may not be as big of a deal for you. Let's just move this down here for a second. So I will show you. So there's the airport, right? But also if you go over here, and I say west of Edmonton because you can actually get there from here. So if you are up here, this is where the River Cree is and the Costco. Drive down this way and go down 60, you're in Devon. Now, you cannot get there here from the Windermere area because there's no roads. You either come from the west or you come from the airport and go this direction. Devon, when I started in real estate years ago, over 16 years ago, yes, it was highly coveted for new families, but it's also very limited in what they have. So let me show you what is in Devon right now. So you can, let's take the price range off. So this is single family homes in Devon the last 7 days. And this is land. So a piece of land is going for $285, not moving anywhere, but you've got the average price of $577, which is a lot higher than it used to be. Devon used to be a lot more affordable, but that's because there's probably new properties like this one Well, it's newer. This is not that new. Decent yard, right? But I'll show you in a second about the amenities. This house is a bit older. It's a bi-level, walkout bi-level with a bedroom up above. That's the master, and then there's usually some bedrooms on the main floor. Yeah, these 2 bedrooms on the main floor, and then if the basement is finished, yep, then you've got another 1 bedroom, maybe 2. It's got Christmas decorations. So this one is listed at $46,500. It's been on the market a long time. We'd have to look into that more. And then if you take a look, hi Kyle, I will talk about that neighborhood in just a minute here. So here we've got the different, how many properties? 9 of the 13 are active in the last 7 days. And of the 9, I have 1, 2 that is just land. You can see this house has a RV parking, and this is a new build. I wonder if this is what builder this is. Interesting. So new build is coming in this area, but let's take a look. There's 2 pending, 1 bungalow, 1 2-story at $534,900. They used to have just usually older properties, but it's definitely, these are newer areas. You see the landscaping isn't even, looks just new-ish. And the price points aren't so crazy different than Edmonton. It's probably a little lower still than Edmonton, but this is showing you how high the prices have gone. And our city, when Devon and surrounding area is that much. I would think their property taxes are actually a little bit lower. $4,500 for the property taxes for the year. 2,200 square feet, has air conditioning, fully finished basement. Okay, so it is lower than what you get in Edmonton. Same house in Edmonton is probably going to be running you at $550 or higher. That one's pending though. This one is just on the same street, a story away. It's also sold at $577, open to above floor plan, and it is a newer house. So Devon definitely has evolved, I would say, because what I'm used to seeing in Devon a long time ago were those bungalows, and I don't even see those for sale. And that's why you couldn't find anything, because those houses would never come for sale. Let's go look for the last 12 months in Devon. We had 12 properties sell. I'm just going to look from 300 to 400. Not sure we can find anything there, but we'll see. Oh, there's 51 properties out of all those. So here we go. This is kind of what I'm used to seeing in previous years. This is a 1948 bungalow. It's not showing us. It's sold as is where it is. Let's take a look at a different one. This is a duplex at $319. This is a 1975 3-level split. So these types of homes that you're like when you're looking for older homes in Devon, harder to usually find because there's not that much inventory and there's not that many people out there. So it takes a while to move. But these are the kinds of homes that you can see for $325, people would be fighting over it. $319, this is for $315. So this took still 30 days to move. Property, 1974. Okay, so these are 300s, quite a few, right? All typically older homes. If you want newer, you start to go into the higher 300s, and then you'll go into 4s. But this is kind of stereotypical. What's this one? Small little house, but big yard. Now, let's just go back to Devon. I wanted to show you. In terms of kids, if you are looking for kids to have activities, if anyone's watching from Devon, you can let them know. I'm not super familiar, but I know that you'd have to drive into the city for a lot of things. They have some grocery stores. You'd probably go to Costco, which is 10-15 minutes up Highway 60 to that one. But if you look, the majority of the stuff is here. So you've got an A&W, Devon Community Center. I'm not sure what all is included in this one. I don't think it's actually a rec center, to be honest. And then they have a library. I know that. There is a general hospital. I would kind of check to see what they do, because I know in Sherwood Park, you can't deliver a baby in Sherwood Park. They don't do the delivery of babies because I have somebody I know who works there. So you want to double check that. You are close to Stollery if you go up Highway 19 up to Highway 2. That's where you go to the Stollery in Edmonton. But you see there's not a whole lot of anything. It's like a small neighborhood, because the neighborhood in Edmonton is even this size, if not bigger. It is nice and tucked away. So it just depends on what your family is looking for. So hopefully that answers your question, Louis. So let's talk about a different area. Kyle's asking us about the Kavanaugh neighborhood. So Kavanaugh neighborhood is in the southwest of Edmonton. And it is really close to Highway 2. Like literally some of the houses back onto Highway 2. And it's loud, because that's what it is. It is right by Allard and close to Rutherford and south of Richford. And you can see Blackmud Creek here. So Kavanaugh is this section here. There is a bit of cell phone reception last time I checked when I drove through. The reception's not the greatest. I don't sell a lot in here just because there is a lot of highway noise from Highway 2. This is, I'll show you what's been going on in Kavanaugh. So between 300 to 400,000, we had 10 properties sell in the last bit here. So let's see. Oh, that's the last 6 months. I had to go back. So you can see they're attached homes. Is this one a detached? Oh, this is a very interesting layout. So there's a garage here. Let me just see what kind of house this is. Yeah, it's a duplex. So this is probably the garage of the neighbors, and the doorway's on the other side, and this garage is probably on the back side. So this was 409. Yeah, oh, it sold for 400,000. If we go into 4 to 600, I'm just gonna go last 7 days, and 1 property sold, 6 properties for sale. In here, you can see the detached is 500. This is another duplex for low 435s, and then this is a front attached for 480. This looks newer. I want to see the windows. If you look through the window, right here. It's just curious. I'm wondering how close to the road it is. Houses always look nice, but sometimes when these houses look like this, is this the show home? Sometimes pictures are of the show home, not the actual house, and you need to see if the finishings are the same. And beware of, different builders build different qualities too, right? So that, I don't know if that answers your question. But in terms of what do I think of the neighborhood, if you work with me as an agent, I do. And if you work with a realtor, they will tell you what they think of the neighborhood for you specifically, because you have certain needs as who you are and your price point and budget, and it may or may not work well for you. So those are those 2 neighborhoods. If anyone else has other neighborhoods they want, please comment and I'd be happy to put that in. So what I'm going to do is also take a look at one of my go-tos all the time is C-Chord. So let's take a look at what is happening in C-Chord for active listings and pending solds in the last 7 days between 300 to 400 that are single family. So if you're wanting to move in at this price point, you're thinking, I want to pay no more than 400. You have one option right now. This option, spoiler alert, 99 Ave is usually backing onto Stony Plain. Let's take a look. Yeah, it's back. 100 Ave is Stony Plain Road. So see, there's this, and then there's this, and it's quite loud. I personally would not. This is the side of C-Chord that I wouldn't recommend, because you see all this, and it's quite loud. So that's a $350,000 duplex. And nothing has sold in the last 7 days in that price point. Let's do 400 to 500. There'll be, I bet you, more attached homes. But once we hit over 500, because that's the average price it's gone up to now in Edmonton, you'll see more options. So here in 4 to 500, we had 15. And of the 15, 9 of them are active currently. They've all been not on the market too long, with the exception of these handful here. A lot of new builds still in C-Chord. A lot of builders still in here, and that some of them are listed. Like, for example, this one looks like a new build. Some of these are listed and some of them are not listed. This looks like someone lives here. I don't think this is totally brand new, maybe. Let's take a look. 2023. Oh, no, it's brand new. 1583 square feet, listed pending at 445. 4 properties sold between 410 and 462. So nothing from 462 to 500. So that's interesting. And then if you look at what's available, there's only like this one, and this one. There's about 3 that are available in that price point. So high 4s, not seeing a whole lot of. 462, what did that look like? Laned house. So the garage in the back. This one has an interesting backyard that you don't normally see that big of a back deck. No grass. And then you can see this is an oversized garage. Look at, one is not like the others. So that's the one that sold for 462. And if we take a look at 5 to 6, you're going to see more in this price range here. I'd say if you're looking to move into C-Chord, expect 5 to 6 or 6 to 7, depending on the size and if you want a finished basement or not. So you've got, of the 27, you have 24 active listings. So lots of choices here. Again, some of these are new builds, you can see, and some of them aren't accurately marked because builders don't always mark that they're pending. So it kind of messes up our stats when you're looking at these newer neighborhoods. And sometimes they're sold and they haven't marked them either. So that's also irritating. You have 2 properties that are pending and then 1 that's sold, which is a bungalow. So let's take a look at 600 to 7. Only 3. So 5 to 6 is kind of where you're going to be in C-Chord. So if you're looking to even build a property, try to keep your price point a little bit in that range because these ones just are sitting here and there's been no sales in the last 7 days. If I go back 6 months, you'll see 6 properties sold in the last 6 months. That's not very much, in the low 6s. So if you're in C-Chord, the lesson here is try not to spend mid 6s or high 6s or 7s unless there is something spectacular about your house. This one has a triple car garage at $695, so that makes sense. Or if it's a walkout. But if it's just a regular home and it's a 0, definitely stay lower. There's a lot of 0s in C-Chord, and you'll find those at the lower 5s price point, and then the non-zeros are mid to higher 500,000 price point. If you're looking in Rosenthal, let's take a look at this neighborhood. Impartial, of course, to this neighborhood because I live here. You can see that there was more options. I'm going to go back to 7 days to compare. And this is 6 to 7. We might as well start here. They have in Rosenthal, all 9 properties are active between 6 to 7. And we can see here, this is a show home, I believe. Yeah, this is the Paysetter show home that is for sale at $600,000. And you see a little green, it means the price went up. Builders are increasing their prices. That is not atypical, even if it hasn't sold for 203 days. Now, why do you see this on there for builders and you think, why can't I negotiate with them? The way that this works is that builders list their properties whether or not it's for sale. So for example, they may have listed this property and weren't actually ready for you to take possession. So they were hoping to sell it with the very, 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 very long possession and no one was interested. Things don't sell, it doesn't mean the prices drop for builders. They do the opposite. They see the market and the demand, and they see demand on their other properties, and so they increase the price, not decrease the price, even though it's been sitting on the market. It goes completely against what is normal in the real estate resale market, because if a house has been sitting on the market for 203 days, the price needs to go down. At the end of the day, the price is what is not selling the property. It doesn't matter about the kind of marketing that is happening. The price needs to come down. Nobody was willing to purchase purchase at that price. Builders have a different idea of how they increase their prices. Yes, they want to sell their property, but they also have money invested. Now, does a seller have money invested? Absolutely, they do. I would say their money invested is more emotionally driven than the builders one. Builders also have the financial capacity, though they don't want to lose money. They do have the financial capacity to hold on to things longer. And so they just decide they're going to make it go up. Now, if they were actually competitive like the resale market, their properties probably wouldn't sit as long, but they know they've got warranty. They know they have the brand new thing. So that's kind of what they ride off on. A bit of a rent there. So you can see here from 6 to 689, average is 643 in the 600 range, and nothing sold in the last 7 days. It's hard to get into Rosenthal. There's not a whole lot of options because if you look at 5 to 600, of the 18 properties, you have 15 properties. So you're like, Melody, that's a lot of options. Well, not depending on if you're looking for a certain size and style of home. Do you see the sizes of these? They're all under 2,300 square feet, but they're between 5 to 600,000. Like this is only 18. This is a bungalow, but there's, you're looking at a smaller footprint, and the solds will show you because you're thinking, well, those are priced too high. Not when somebody bought a house for 1,800 square feet for $515, $519 for $1,754, and $572 for $2,169. So if you're looking for a home over 2,000 square feet in Rosenthal, you need to expect to be paying in the over 570s. You can see here there's a 560 one that's still not moving. Let's take a look at this house. Oh, this is brand new, right beside an empty lot here. This also looks like a Paysetter house. Yep, it sure is, with these weird openings here. If you're looking at Paysetter, you need to make sure you send me a message. So this one here is their open to above layout. And if I go into 4 to 5, only 2. That doesn't surprise me at all. So 2 properties available for sale. Nothing sold in the last 7 days. They've been sitting in the market for a while. $499 is what it's been asking. No garage, brand new build. So nothing in the resale market in this price range. Because if you had a laned home with a garage, you're probably looking at the low 5s in Rosenthal. So today we went through a lot of different neighborhoods. I appreciate you guys all tuning in. Let me know. We will be back next week after the long weekend, and I'm very intrigued to see how many activity we're going to see then, because there should be more sales. So enjoy the weather outside as it warms up, guys. Talk to you later.